Hey guys, what's up everybody? Welcome back again to another video tutorial from the Apex Academy of Mathematics. We are learning the language of the universe begins here, and on this channel we break down your fundamentals, we rebuild you as a student, and we unlock that genius that lies within you. My name is Akin, otherwise known as Apex Lenio, your trainer and math guru to unlocking that genius, as I said, that lies within you. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking and discussing comprehensively the principle of Pemdas, but this is part 2 of a two-part series. In part 1, which of course I've placed a link in the description below, do check out that video where I explain to you the Pemdas principle, the basics and the understanding. So check out that video for any updates that you may need on this topic. But in this particular video, we're going to be going through a series of examples, or I should say advanced examples. We're going to be applying the Pemdas principle. All right, so do watch this video to its entirety. And of course, if you're enjoying my presentation so far, or you have already joined my channel and you have enjoyed all the previous content before, please drop a like on the video. Of course, turn on your notification bell and smash that subscribe button below. Okay, all right, so let's jump right into the video. Now, in our last lesson, as I said, the link is provided in the description below, so do check out that video. We spoke about what Pemdas is, the meaning of the letters that make up the acronym Pemdas, and of course, just a reminder that P represents the parenthesis, E represents the exponent, M represents multiplication, D represents division, A represents addition, and S represents subtraction. And there was also a notable information that whenever multiplication and division is combined, then of course whichever operation comes first in the problem from left to right is the one that you should do first. So do check out that video for a comprehensive guide in terms of what you do when and where. Okay, and the same goes for addition or subtraction. But in this video I want to take you a bit deeper into applying all the concepts at once in a variety of different structured type questions. Okay, so all right, let's get into it. So here are some examples. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think I have another page here, 5, 6, 7, 8, and of course 9 examples here. This should take us maybe about 12-15 minutes. So as I said, please watch this video if you want to get full value, or watch the entire video if you want to get full value for your full value from the content that I'm offering here. Okay, all right, so here we have this example, and I want to give you a little zoom up here of this. Okay, all right, I want to make sure that I get into it. I'm gonna change my ink here to black. All right, so what we have here is the number 45 divided by 15 plus 60 divided by 9 plus 6. And the way how I do these type of questions is, the very first thing I do is to identify the operations that I'm dealing with. Okay, so what I want to do here is that I recognize that there's a D here, there's a A here, there's a D here, and of course we have an operation that lies within a parenthesis. So according to Pemdas, we're going to do the P followed by the D, so we can do both these at the same time. Then we're going to do the A last. All right, so let's jump into it. I like to do my problem one operation at a time. So the first thing I want to do is to write down 45 divided by 15 plus 60. Okay, so that's not 60 obviously, so that's plus 60 divided by, then I'm going to work the parentheses out, so 9 plus 6 is 15. Okay, all right, good. Now that the P has disappeared, the next thing we want to do is to work out the D. Now a lot of students would work out this D first, then this D second, then the add last. But since as D and D are in the same question, we can do both these at the same time. So we can do this part first and next. Okay, so 45 divided by 15 is 3 and 60 divided by 15 is 4. So we get a nice result here of 7. All right, and that's a very clear demonstration. That should not be a very difficult problem at all. All right, good. So I hope you got that very first easy example. Let's jump into another example. All right, so the next example here, we have operation here in parentheses, we have multiplication here, then we have addition, then we have division, then of course we have another parenthesis here. So what we want to do is that we want to work the two parentheses first, okay, and then rewrite the remaining operations. So 16 plus 6, that will give us 22. Okay, we're going to write back our times 4, okay, and our plus 20. We're going to write back our division sign, then we're going to work this part out. 12 minus 2 is 10. So we have done our parenthesis operations first. Next now is that we have a combination of multiplication and division in one question. So of course in the last video I explained to you that whichever one comes first from left to right, that's the one you do first. So MD, we're going to do the M first. So 22 times 4, that should give us 88. Okay, so we can plus back the 20, or we can say plus 20 divided by 10, then we do this part next. But since as the next operation which we would naturally do is a division, we can just go right ahead. Rather than writing down 88 plus 20 divided by 10, then do the 20 divided by 10 in the next line, we can simply instead just go right ahead and say 20 divided by 10 is 2, and of course 88 plus 2 gives us total score of 90. Alright guys, so I do hope that you are getting value so far. Of course, hit like on the button if you are enjoying my presentation so far. Alright, so let's get into the next example. Alright, good. So we're going to move on now to doing the third one here. So we have 44 minus 48 divided by 16 plus 12, open bracket, 24 minus 8. Now this here has two approaches right here, so we've got to be very careful in this area of this problem. So let's jump into it. First, we identify our signs that we're working with. So we have subtraction, we have division, we have addition, and we have parenthesis. But because there is no sign that is between the 12 and the parenthesis, the operation that is understood here is a multiplication. Alright, so please make note of that, that had this been 12 plus the bracket, then that would be a different situation where whatever is in the bracket will be added to the 12. But note that once we work out what is in the parenthesis right here, then whatever is in here will be multiplied by the 12. So we need to make a note of that. Alright, so let's continue. So the first thing that we're going to do here is of course the parenthesis. Alright, so we're going to have 44, okay, pardon me, 44 minus 48 divided by 16 plus, now after I've written down my 12 here, I have a choice. I can work out what is in the parenthesis and put it back in a bracket, or I can simply I can simply put a multiplication here. Right, it will not affect the problem because either ways I can do this and get rid of the parentheses completely, or I can do the multiplication last. It will not make a difference because the division aspect of the problem does not affect the multiplication. But for safekeeping, I'm going to work out what is in the parenthesis and put that number here back into a parenthesis. So 24 minus 8, that will give us a total of 16. Okay, all right. So after which now I am going to then go ahead now and I have a choice. I can do the division, then the parenthesis here, because the parenthesis indication here is a multiplication, so it doesn't matter what I do first in this instance, it will not affect my end result. Okay, All right, so here we go. So we have 44 minus 48 divided by 16 plus, and of course let's work out 12 multiplied by 16, and that should give us a total of 192 here. All right, good. Now we can do the division next here. So we have 44 minus 40. Well, we are not going to say minus 48, but of course, because you're doing the division, this part here will be the next aspect of the problem. So 48 divided by 16 is actually 4. Okay, and that's plus 192. 44 minus 4 plus 192. All right, so let me just recap that part for you. 44 minus 48 divided by 16. 12 times 16 is 192. The next part of the problem comes next is the division. So we say 44 minus, and we do the division part. This number divided by that number gives 4 plus 192. All right, and the math should be quite simple from here. 44 minus 4, that's going to be equal to 40, and of course 40 plus 192, and that should give us a total of 232. All right, so that's a really nice problem there. Hopefully you are getting value so far from this lesson here. So let's zoom a little bit out. I'm just going to erase this for a little bit of space, and then hopefully you got that. All right, so we're going to zoom out here and work this problem out. All right, so let's just take care of this little part right here. All right, good. All right, so for this one here, 51 minus 6 times 15 minus 9, this is a very straightforward one, but of course it has two ways in which you can work it out. So for this one here, we're going to use here we have subtraction, here we have parenthesis. So there's only two operations here. So we have 51 minus 6 open bracket 15 minus 9, that should give us a total of, let's see here, 6. 15 minus 9 is 6, and of course we can just do the parentheses here. 51 minus 6 times 6 is 36, so 51, pardon me here, okay, zoom it out. Okay, so 51 minus 36, and that should give us a total of 15. Okay, that's how you work this question out. Now this question here could be worked another way. Okay, so of course we could simply say use the distributive law, and we could distribute the negative 6 inside the bracket. So we could say 51 minus 6 times 15, that should give us a total of 90. All right, and then negative times negative is positive. 6 times 9 is 54, and if we were to work out 51 minus 90, that should give us a total of negative 39 plus 54, and of course that will still give us a result of 15. So with this problem here, you have a choice of using the Pemdas principle, or you can do distributive law and still get the same result. All right, so guys, for those very first 4 examples, I hope you are enjoying the content so far. Please do check out the next video for the remaining examples of this. All right, so this brings us to the end of the first 4 examples of our extensive guide through using the Pemdas principle for working advanced questions. All right, so do check out the remaining video, and I'll see you next time. Take good care.